Well, let's begin by laying down. Just begin to relax your body. And you can place the soles of the feet flat on the floor or stretch the legs out, whichever is most comfortable to you. Begin to bring the breath into your belly. Moving the breath up into your ribs. And now bringing the breath up into the top of your chest. Bringing the breath through all three parts, allowing the breath to move from the base of your belly up into the top of your chest. Bringing in full inhalations and exhalations. Coming back to your natural breath. From here, we'll stretch the left leg out on the floor. Bring the right knee in towards your chest. Hug it in, compressing the top of the thigh in towards the belly. Bringing that knee out towards the right side. Grounding through that left hip. Coming back to neutral, and then we'll circle that knee around. And circling in the opposite direction. And then coming back to neutral, stretch that right leg out. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. Hug it in. Opening the knee out to the side. Coming back to neutral and then circle the knee around. Circling in the opposite direction. And then coming back to neutral. From here, we'll bring the soles of the feet flat on the floor, placing the right ankle on top of the left leg. You can keep it here or bring them in towards your chest for figure four. Breathing into any tightness in that right hip. Slowly releasing that left foot back down to the mat. Drop the legs over towards the left, keeping them crossed the way they are. And bringing them back to neutral. Again, keeping them crossed, drop them over towards the right. And coming back to center. Soles of the feet come back down onto the mat. Bring the arms down by your sides. Press through the feet. Lift the hips up into bridge, keeping the nose pointing up towards the ceiling. Big breath up into the chest. Slowly lowering the hips back down to the mat. And then bring that left ankle on top of the right leg. Again, keep it here or bring them in towards the chest for thread the needle or figure four. Slowly release that right foot down to the mat. Keep the legs crossed the way they are and lower the legs over towards the right. Relax your shoulders, soften your face. Bringing the legs back to neutral, keeping them crossed, we'll drop them over towards the left. And coming back to neutral, we'll release the cross of the legs, bring the knees in towards the chest, and then rock to come up to seated. Coming into a comfortable seated position, placing the hands in the lap around the knees, begin to roll the shoulders forward. Reverse. And coming back to neutral, rock the head from side to side. And coming back to neutral, round the spine, bring the chin in towards the chest. Inhale, up and open, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you round forward. Inhale as you lift. Exhale. And inhale. Moving with your breath. One last time. And we'll meet back in neutral. So keep that left leg where it's at. Slide that right leg around so that the knee is at the inside of the foot. So you can tuck this back foot in as far as you'd like. Lift the chest. Bring that left hand to the floor. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Coming into a side bend. Maybe coming down onto the forearm. And then bring that right hand to the shoulder. Elbow moves up towards the ceiling. Reaching the right fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Overhead, maybe a little bit deeper, rounding that side body, bringing the fingertips pointed down towards the mat. Maybe bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring the fingertips back up. Press through that left hand, straightening the arm. Keep the lift in that right arm. Now stay here or lift the hips up, opening up the chest. Draw that right arm behind you. Slowly lowering the hips down. Lift the chest back to neutral. Turn towards that left knee. And then hinge forward, walking the hands out. Slowly walking the hands back, and as you lift the chest, swing that right leg around. Place the soles of the feet on the floor. Bring the hands behind us, fingertips pointing towards your body. Press through the palms, lifting the chest. Keep it here or press through the feet as well, lifting the hips. Coming into a tabletop. Keeping the shoulders stacked over your wrists, knees over your ankles. Head stays in line with your spine. Slowly lowering the hips back down. Bring the tops of the hands to the mat for a counter stretch in the wrists. And then release. Come back to cross-legged position. Lift the chest, twist to the right. Back to neutral, lift and twist to the left. Back to center. Keep that right leg where it's at. Swing the left leg around so that the leg is at the inside of the foot. Lift the chest, bring the right hand to the floor, left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Nice long side body. Stay here, drop down onto the forearm. Bring the left fingertips towards the shoulder. Elbow moves up towards the ceiling. Reaching the fingertips back up, and then bring them overhead, rounding the side of your body. Maybe the fingertips reach towards the mat. Lifting the fingertips back up. Slowly press through that right palm, straightening the arm. Stay here, keeping that reach through the left fingertips, or press through the palm, lift the hips up, opening up the chest, maybe drawing that left arm back behind you. Slowly lowering the hips back down. As you lift, the chest will turn towards that right knee and then hinge forward, walking the hands out. Slowly walking the hands back in as you lift the chest. Coming back to neutral, swing that left foot around. Coming back into your tabletop, or whichever variation you prefer. Fingertips pointing towards your body. Open the chest. Slowly lowering back down. And then come onto your hands and knees, placing the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Begin to round the spine into cat. Bring the crown of the head and the tailbone up for cow. Exhale as you round. Inhale as you lift. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One last time, exhale. And inhale. Coming back to neutral, we'll tuck our toes, lift the tailbone, pressing back into downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, placing the ears in between the arms. Maybe shift the hips from side to side. Coming back to neutral. Looking towards the top of the mat, walk the feet forward, coming into a forward fold, relaxing the head and neck, holding on to the elbows, gently swing from side to side. Coming back to neutral, bend the knees, inhale, reach up towards the ceiling, clasp the hands, reach the palms up. Big breath. Lean over towards the right. Back to center and then over towards the left. Back to neutral. Releasing the arms as we hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Step back into plank or knee plank. Chaturanga down. Into up dog or cobra. And then back to down dog. Looking towards top of the mat, step the feet forward. Bend the knees, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the palms together at heart center. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward, stepping back into plank or knee plank. Chaturanga down. Into up dog or cobra. And back to down dog. Looking towards the top of the mat, step forward. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale. One last round. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward, step back. Chaturanga down. Pressing up into downward facing dog. And then look towards the top of the mat and step the feet forward on your exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the palms back to heart center. From here, we'll shift the weight into the left foot. Bring that right foot up behind you. Point the toes. You can keep it here or reach around to grab the foot or ankle. Keep it here or reach up towards the ceiling. Now you can stay here or move this into dancer. Slowly hinging forward, kick that right leg back, pressing into the hand. Slowly lifting the chest as you bring that knee back to neutral, tucking that foot in towards the glutes. Keep the lift in the left fingertips. Come over towards the right. It's a little bit of a side bend. Coming back to neutral, release that foot, step back and come into warrior one. Bend the front knee over your ankle. Bringing the hands clasped behind the back. Pull down, open the chest. Bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. Now hinging forward. You can stay here or bring that left shoulder to the inside of the leg. Stay there or bring the arms overhead. Releasing the hands surrounding the foot. Bring the torso back to neutral, hips point towards the floor, pivoting that back foot around, coming into a low lunge. And drop the back knee down, bringing the top of the foot to the mat, and then straighten the front leg as you hinge forward, moving into half splits. Slowly bending the front knee. Walk that left foot out towards the side of the mat, bringing both hands to the inside of the foot. We're going to move into lizard pose, so drop that left knee out to the side. Keep it here, or come down onto the forearms if you'd like to come into this a little bit more deeply. Breathe into any tightness in the hips. Slowly coming back up onto the hands. Bring the sole of that foot down to the mat. Walk it in slightly. Keep the right hand planted on the floor. Bring the left arm up towards the ceiling. Press through that right palm. Really lengthen through the arms. Now reach back towards that back foot. Maybe bring the gaze back towards those fingertips. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up. Exhale, we'll plant the hand back down on the mat. Walk the left foot across, and then we'll come into pigeon. So go ahead and stretch that right leg back. Level out the hips. And then if you'd like to come into this more deeply, you can fold forward. Coming back onto the hands, lifting the chest. Keep it here or bring that back foot up, pointing the toes. Keep it there or reach around with the left hand to grab the foot or ankle. Slowly releasing, tuck the right toes, press through the toes, lifting the knee up off the floor, and then press back on that heel. Really deepen the stretch in that right leg. Go ahead and lift the hips as we press back into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Now look towards the top of the mat and walk or step the feet forward, coming back into your forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the palms together at the center. Shift the weight to the right foot. Bring that left foot back, pointing the toes. Again, options, keep it here, or reach around to grab the foot or ankle, just tucking it in. Keep it there, or reach the right hand up. Keep it here, or hinge forward as we press that left foot back into the hand, opening up the chest. Slowly coming back to neutral, lift the chest, bring that foot back in towards the glutes. Keep the length in the right fingertips. Stay here or come into your left side bend, reaching overhead slightly. Coming back to neutral. Release that foot and step back into warrior one. Bend the front knee over your ankle. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, and then exhale, clasp them behind your back. Pull down, open the chest. Hinging forward. Again, variations here. You can stay here or bring that right shoulder to the inside of the leg. Keep it there. Or bring the arms overhead. Releasing the hands, surround the foot with the hands, bringing the hips facing towards the mat, and then slide that left foot back as you come into your low lunge. Taking a breath here, and then we'll drop the back knee, bringing the top of the foot to the mat. Go ahead and straighten the front leg as you hinge forward into your half splits. Breathing into any tightness in the back of that right leg. Bending the right knee. Bring both hands to the inside of the foot as you walk the right foot out towards the side of the mat. Preparing for lizard pose, keep it here, or drop the knee out towards the side, coming onto the side of the right foot. Keep it there, or come down onto the forearms. Slowly coming back onto the hands, lowering the sole of the foot back down to the mat. Keep the left hand planted on the floor. Bring the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening up the chest. And then reach the fingertips towards the back foot. Maybe bring the gaze back. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hand down and then walk the right foot across the mat. Coming into our pigeon. Keeping the chest lifted as we settle into this pose, leveling out your hips. Then if and when you're ready, you can fold forward. Slowly coming back up onto the hands. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll bring the back foot up. Again, options, stay here or keep that left hand on the floor, reaching around with the right hand to grab the foot or the ankle, or just reaching back towards. Keep the chest lifted and open. And as we release that foot back down, we'll tuck the toes, lift the knee, pressing back on the heel. Lift the hips up, press back into downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Coming down onto your forearms, we'll move into dolphin pose. Roll the shoulders out towards the sides, hollowing out the armpits. Breathing into the back of your body. Now walk the feet back, coming into a forearm plank, bringing the shoulders over the elbows, leveling out the body, drawing the belly towards your spine to protect your low back. Go ahead and lower the hips down, lift the chest, moving into Sphinx pose. Bringing the tops of the feet to the mat, pressing through the hip bones as you lift the chest. Draw the shoulders back and down. Slowly lowering the chest down as we release. Bring the fingertips wide beyond the mat. In line with your shoulders, relax the chest down to the floor for a couple of breaths. Now we'll press through the fingertips, slowly lift the chest up as you inhale. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Keeping the elbows moving up towards the ceiling. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. And exhale. Now relax the body. Bring the arms back by the sides. Feet come in towards the glutes. So you can stay here, or you can lift the chest, reaching back towards the feet, or connect with the feet, keeping it here, or press back into the hands, lifting up into bow pose. Keep the knees in line with your hips. And slowly releasing down. Just take a breath here, neutralizing the spine. Now bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, we'll come up onto all fours. And then press back into a child's pose. So you can keep the knees together or bring them wide on the mat. Keeping this an active child's pose, really stretch the back of the body. Slowly coming back up onto all fours, round the spine. And then come back to neutral. Level the spine out. From here, we'll bring the right arm underneath the left. The shoulder and the ear come down to the mat. Now, several options for that left hand. You can keep it where it's at, or you can bring the elbow up towards the ceiling, coming up onto the fingertips, or bring that arm around the back of the body, maybe headed towards that right hip. Coming back to neutral, press through the right hand, left hand lift back up, placing the right hand back on the mat. And then we'll bring the left arm underneath the right shoulder and ear, come down to the mat. Again, your variation here. And slowly releasing that hand back down. Lift back up onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, press back into downward facing dog. Now walk the feet towards the hands, coming back into your forward fold. From here, we'll cross that right ankle on top of the left leg. So just cross the feet so that that right foot comes to the outside of the left leg. Keep the left hand on the floor, bring the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring the right hand down. All right, now you can stay here. We're going to try something a little bit different. Hopefully this translates well. All right, so bring the weight into that right foot. Bend the knees as you slide that left leg out towards the side. So you can keep it here, shifting that weight into the left hand, or you can bring the hand to or connecting to that right foot. And then lift the chest. Nice. All right. Yeah. You got it. It's pretzel day. There you go. Stay as long as you want, but when you're ready, come back up. Walk that left foot back in. Come back to neutral, and we'll move to the opposite side. So bring the left foot, so cross it over the right. We're going to shift the weight into that left foot. Walk the right hand out slightly as you bring that right leg out towards the side. Keep it there. Or lift and connect the hand and the foot. You got it. Yeah. And then release. And we'll come back to neutral. Nice. Yay. All right, widen the feet. And then we'll bend the knees and come down into a squat. So however you get there, it doesn't matter. Just relax the tailbone down. Releasing any last bit of tension in the hips. Now you can stay here or work the shoulders down to the insides of the legs, wrapping the arms around, maybe bringing the hands towards the heels. You can stay here or drop the chin down towards the chest, really rounding the spine. And slowly releasing, we'll come down into a seated position. Take a breath here, and then we'll stretch the legs out in front of us. Lift the chest, hinge forward, walk the hands down the legs. As we come up, we'll bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. You can keep it here or cross it over that left leg. Lift the chest and twist to the right. Slowly release, stretch the right leg out, bring the left foot in. Again, keep it there or cross it over, lift the chest and twist to the left. Slowly release. And we'll come down onto our backs and into happy baby. Releasing the feet. Go ahead and give your body one last big stretch before we move into Savasana. And then choosing a pose that's most comfortable to you for your final relaxation. Releasing any last bit of tension in your body. And quieting your mind and your breath. Begin to bring the awareness back to your bodies, back into the space around you, the earth below you. When you're ready, roll to the side. And slowly come up to seated. And thank you for joining me today for this hip class, releasing. I know that we all hold a lot of tension, mainly in our hips and our shoulders. Hopefully this practice today helped release a little bit of that. I appreciate you all. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.